Some video games stay with us for a lifetime, whether it be because of the story, the music, or the profound impact they had on shaping us into the people we are today. Sometimes we wish we could erase all of the memories and start the games again, just to have them give us those goosebumps again. Before I get into the one video game I could play for the first time again, I do have some honorable mentions. Horizon Zero Dawn, Subnautica, and Witcher 3 Wild Hunt are all games that have made me cry, survive, and left imprints on my heart in their own unique way, and I would give anything to play them again for the first time. I've mentioned this game several times before on the Triple D show, so it's only fitting that I'd want to play The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim again for the first time. The Elder Scrolls series has been Bethesda's crown and glory, with Skyrim being the crown jewel for the anthology, with one of the most recognizable original soundtracks accompanied with a beautiful landscape. This game is still in its prime, 10 years after its original release. The graphics are crazy for such an old game that would normally be considered outdated. People have modded the game to the high heavens to be even more beautiful, add more quests than the vanilla version, but that doesn't diminish it at all. The main storyline itself is intertwined with other side storylines. The main storyline itself, you never truly finish it without at least getting sidetracked, getting attacked by a bear, or finding yourself in the middle of some drunken strangers just wandering around and having a good time. Dragons, dungeons, and mayhem is what this fantastic game is all about. There are so many playable races, a family to be had, houses to be built, and caves to be delved into. There is nothing that you actually cannot do in this game. To experience all of this again for the first time, I would genuinely jump at the chance.
Wow, games. Well, if I had to say, if I wanted to replay any game for the first time, it would have to be Valve's Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2 was a game for me that it wasn't a big turning point, but it's a game that always sticks in my mind when I think PC gaming, or for that, just zombie games in general. I remember for the first time seeing Left 4 Dead 2 on a review of Good Game, this amazing zombie survival game, 4-player co-op, running through hordes of zombies running at ya, and I fell in love. And then I played it on console for the first time, and I fell in love. I absolutely fell in love. I played the game over and over on console. Unfortunately, by that time, the game was a bit older at the time, so there wasn't a lot of online play. But once I got my hands on a PC copy, that was it. I have easily spent over 200 hours in that game alone, just from playing the campaign. The campaign is so replayable in that game that you could jump in, and every single time you'll have a fantastic time. And it's a game from like 10 years ago, I think now, coming up on like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, or something like that. And even the mod support on that game is absolutely fantastic. You can still to this day go on the Steam Workshop and find so many brand new mods for custom maps, custom characters, custom guns, sounds, effects, zombies, anything. Like, if there is something in the Left 4 Dead 2 game, there will be a mod for it. I would easily wipe my memory of Left 4 Dead 2, jump back in, and I feel like today I would still be just as excited as I was those like 10 years ago seeing it on a review. 100% have to be Left 4 Dead 2.
When it comes to games that I wish I could go back to and play for the first time, there are two that have come to mind. The first one being a game developed by Warhorse Studios and published by Deep Silver. That game is Kingdom Come Deliverance. It was set in the 15th century in the Kingdom of Bohemia, which is now present-day Czech Republic. You're a young blacksmith's son named Henry, and soon after the game starts, your hometown is ravaged by a savage attack. You find yourself on a quest soon after to retrieve a sword that your father made before his untimely death, and basically get vengeance on the people that attacked your hometown. I think for me, what I liked the most about this game was the depth of realism that went into it. When it comes to the sword play, it's akin to games like For Honor. However, this game predates the release of For Honor. In terms of attacking certain limbs, you had to direct yourself to attack the open sides of enemies, and the sword combat felt a little bit more realistic that way. In terms of the game world itself, you found yourself walking around, and people in the towns had their own business to go about. They were doing their own thing, living their lives, and you could literally follow an NPC around and just watch them go about their day. The game had a very good night-day cycle as well, so when it came to like NPCs that you wanted to do training with or anything like that, you could essentially, if you went to try and talk to them at night nighttime, they wouldn't be there because they're asleep, and you should be as well, essentially, as the player. You needed to sleep to gain energy. You needed to eat to obviously survive and drink and things like that. There were so many realistic sort of touches in the game to make you feel like you were actually Henry. Even the fast travel itself, you know, like most games where you hit fast travel and you travel to the town that you want to go to, with Kingdom Come Deliverance, it actually gamified it a little bit, where you would fast travel to another place in the map, but along the way it would be a representation of yourself moving along the path to the next town. And sometimes you would get pop-ups where, you know, there were bandits, and you could either simulate it to see how you'd go, or you could go and fight those battles along roads between towns, because there would be bandits or human soldiers who were trying to stop you or take your stuff and fight you, right? So even that little gamification was really good. The ending itself was a little bit lackluster, but I think it ties into the charm that the game is set in a realistic setting, where happy endings are sometimes just the ones where you survive the next day.